What is going on, everybody? ZyoniK here, and in today's video, I'm bringing Perrserker to the Ultra League. It has a fantastic moveset with Shadow Claw, Close Combat, and Foul Play, or even Play Rough if you want to go with that for the Ultra League. Let me know what you guys think about this team. Let's go and get right into it. Okay, getting into the first battle, we have Perrserker on the lead versus Obstagoon. Not the best of matchups, but Close Combat can be very deadly right here, so we're going to go ahead and throw that, but they do catch it on a Gyarados. That's a great swap by them, catching this resisted damage, but thankfully this Gyarados has Dragon Breath, which means I can build back up to that Close Combat, and I'm going to go ahead and swap into Wall Rain to catch the charge move right back. If you can do it, I can do it too. Here we go. It's going to just be the Aqua Tail. It's actually a huge catch for us, as the Gyarados obviously needs to be landing crunches in order to do neutral damage, and this sets us up in a very nice situation where we can come out of here with a lot of energy and a decent amount of health as well. So the crunch does land, doesn't do too much damage, and I'm maxing out to 100 energy right now before throwing the Icicle Spear right here, as this will take out Gyarados. Now, let's see what decides to come in. It is going to be, it's probably just going to be the Obstagoon coming in, right? No, it's going to be Chandelure, and I have an Earthquake ready to go. Do you think we're going to start this video with the boom? I think we are. Here we go. Boom! One shots the Chandelure through 2 shields, and they were not ready. We swap right away into our Swampert, as Swampert with Hydro Cannon can put pressure on the shields here of Obstagoon, and because we banked that Close Combat on Perrserker, and they did get a boost as well, which is definitely going to be a tough situation for us. But remember, we have that Close Combat banked on Perrserker from the very beginning of the game. Now, this Obstagoon has the boost, so this is going to get tough. Here comes the second Night Slash. We're able to block it, and they get a second boost here in this game. So we already have 2 great sack swaps. We have an Earthquake Boom, and we have a double boosted Obstagoon. This game is a bit ridiculous, but we do get 1 shield right there finally, and it's going to be a race to get to this final Hydro Cannon, as it's gonna, if they get 3 boosts, 2 boosts is all you really need, but if they get 3, my goodness, we're gonna go ahead and get this next Hydro Cannon off. This obviously forces the final shield, and this Obstagoon, I believe, is only at 3 counters, which means they're 2 away, so I'm gonna go ahead and fast swap into Perrserker and throw the Close Combat here to close this game out. So ending game 1 with a boom as well. Boom, takes it out. And that is gonna be a very good game, very well played to my opponent. That was a really fun game 1. A lot of these battles are awesome as well. So we have Alolan Muck on the lead. I'm going to go ahead and swap out into Swampert right here and just start loading up on energy, and they do decide to bring in Cresselia. Now, the point of the Swampert safe swap is to draw out the Giratina or the Cresselia in this situation, and have Perrserker really load up on energy while resisting most of the moves. It depends on what Giratina has, but as for Cresselia, it's going to be resisting all of them, right? Because of Steel typing, Moonblast, Grass Knot, Future Sight, all resisted. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to let this go. Swampert is a sacrificial Pokemon so that Perrserker can load up on energy. We're going to try to get to this next Hydro Cannon in time, and we do, but I'm going to undercharge this. Now, when you're playing this little mini game, if you go for nice, it's going to do less damage than excellent, because I want Perrserker to come in and just absolutely load up on energy. So we're going to go ahead, come in with the Perrserker. I should have just come in right away, but that's okay. But they decided to swap out into Muck. So that's a good call by them, predicting what I was going to do, which was going to be a very aggressive farm down. But we're going to go ahead and let this Dark Pulse go through, and then we're going to go for the Close Combat. Then we're going to look to swap into Wall Rain. I think Wall Rain might have some great play against their backline. I don't know what they have just yet, but we know there is a Cresselia still back there. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do another counter-aggressive farm. We're going to shield this charge move. I wasn't counting the Snarl successfully, but I thought this might be a Sludge Wave, and I thought that would have been the best time to give up a shield. We're going to go ahead and go for Icicle Spear here to take it out while still being very close to another one. That way we can take out the Cresselia or force shields when it decides to come back in. So we do see Cresselia come back in, so we're going to go ahead and go for that Icicle Spear right away. Obviously, they're weak in the back, so my guess is going to be Giratina Altered. Would be what I think is going to be in the back. But we will have to see. If they had a counter user, right, a Scrafty or something like that, they would have come in with it right away. But they're coming with the Cresselia, and they're looking to get to another Grass Knot, which is unfortunate. Thankfully, Walrein is very tanky, so we will be able to survive this, but it still does a decent amount of damage. Now, we're going to go ahead and overload on energy and swap into Perrserker to farm down, but they swap out into Empoleon. So we're going to go ahead and load up. I should have gone for the close combat right away. That way, Empoleon doesn't get as much energy. Just slight mistake on my end, but we do get the final shield. Now, Empoleon, or we have the Earthquake loaded, which is perfect. This is the energy management on Walrein. Came in really clutch for me here in game 2 as we, boom, take out the Empoleon, and we won one fast move down the Cresselia, and that is going to be a good game. Very well played. All right, moving next, we got Perrserker versus Venusaur. Okay, love seeing the Venusaur here on the lead. It obviously does very well against my backline. Definitely need to keep it away from Swampert, but Walrein could still go toe-to-toe with it because of its ice moves. So what we're looking to do here is just apply as much shield pressure as possible because Foul Play and Shadow Claw does quite a bit of neutral damage. We also resist these Frenzy Plants, but Perrserker's pretty glassy, and a resisted Frenzy Plant still does like 20-30% of my health, so we're going to be able to get to another Foul Play here. This is where the situation of I actually might let them win lead if we force a shield like we do right here. So I'm going to go ahead and let this go. I make a slight mistake though. It doesn't take me out. So I'm going to have to swap into Walrein in order to kind of force their hand to stay in and throw energy, because I don't want them to farm down my Perrserker and then escape with Venusaur in the back with energy. So I needed to kind of force the hand right there, and they decided to come into the mirror fight. Now, we are even on shields, but I am very far ahead on energy. Venusaur as well is pretty much energy dry. I may have one Vine Whip, 1 or 2 above Frenzy Plant, so it's nowhere near another one, so I feel pretty safe that it's that low that even maybe Mud Shots later on with Swampert might be able to take it. But we're going to go ahead and let this go through, and they went for the Icicle Spear right there. That is a huge call for us as we called the bait. And we're just going to keep going for Earthquakes right here. My Swampert, I think, can close this game out. And we do land a second Earthquake. So here comes the next charge move. We're going to go ahead and shield this one, as I think this is going to be the Earthquake. And it was. That is perfect. We're going to go ahead and load up on energy. And they decide to throw right away, which means it's just going to be another Icicle Spear. They were trying to do as much chip damage as possible before they went down, but that is perfectly fine with me. I'll tank that. And they decide to swap into Gyarados now, a shiny one at that. So what we're looking to do right here is we've established basically a big win con. We're going to go ahead and go for double Icicle Spears here, hoping to force a shield, and then we're going to go straight into our Swampert, as Hydro Cannon, even though it is resisted, should do enough damage to take out this Gyarados. So we do force a shield right there. We're going to go ahead and swap into the Swampert, and this is where things get a bit dicey because of just the raw neutral damage that Gyarados can pump out. So the Crunch doesn't do too much. We don't get the defense drop as well, which is pretty huge, so we should be able to get to 2 Hydro Cannons in time. Now, as I'm doing this battle right here, I'm thinking to myself, you know what? I actually maybe don't want to take out the Gyarados, so I'm going to go ahead and let it hit me with the charge move. I want to come in with Walrein and load up on some energy. So they go for the Aqua Tail, but I survive, so I'm going to go ahead and go for the Hydro Cannon, and I'm going to undercharge this. I'm going to go for a Great. I'm guessing Great might leave it with 1 HP, but it actually takes it out. But at least we're at 1 HP with Swampert, where they only get 1 Vine Whip. Again, they're depleted on energy, so I think Walrein's pretty safe to come in right here and Powder Snow down. So 1, 2, 3, yeah, that's perfectly fine. And the Walrein in the back is extremely low, so we should be able to go for Icicle Spear to close this game out. So a long-winded battle right there, a lot of back and forths, but thankfully we're able to manage it well and keep Venusaur basically away from our Swampert and Walrein to an extent. So good game. All right, next one we got Perrserker versus Galvantula. Okay, so Galvantula obviously a pretty big threat to the team overall. It can put in a lot of nice damage. And we're going to go ahead and shield right here. In hindsight, I should not be shielding this first one because it's like 9 times out of 10 going to be a lunge because Discharge does not one-shot from right there. So the unfortunate thing is I gave up a shield on lunge, which is resisted. But thankfully, Perrserker here can spam foul plays where I can get myself shield advantage, but I CMP tie. So we're going to have to let this go. and it is going to be a discharge, which doesn't take us out, so that's perfect. I'm going to be able to get this foul play off. My goal was to get Galvantula low. I didn't think I was going to win, especially with the mind games of lunge and discharge, but as long as I got it low, I can come in and load up on energy, and I'm going to go ahead and do that with the Wall Rain. Now, I could come in with Swampert, but I'm just going to... I think I need energy on Wall Rain in order to win this game, so I'm going to go ahead and come in with that and just give up a shield here. I know a win con for them is just throw in discharge, and if it lands, so be it. Or if it gets shielded, so be it. But I think I need energy on Wall Rain, so I'm going to go ahead and farm down, and we do see Galarian Stunfisk in the back. So I'm going to go ahead and build up to that Earthquake and throw that right away. Now, them bringing in Galarian Stunfisk tells me that maybe they're weak in the back, maybe it's Giratina, or maybe it's a Flyer, so I'm going to go ahead and try to catch the charge move. I was hoping to be able to catch a Rock Slide there, but it's going to be a Mandibuzz in the back. Now, remember, I'm at shield disadvantage right now versus an XL Galarian Stunfisk and an XL Mandibuzz. Can we pull it off? I think we can. Swampert right here can spam Hydro Cannons, and it does a lot of neutral damage, but what I need to do is really dance the health and energy of my duo right now, because Wall Rain is somewhat low. I think it maybe has one fast move towards an Icicle Spear, but it has a lot of health. And Galarian Stunfisk as well just tanked an Earthquake, which means it's pretty low, and in order for it to take out the Wall Rain, it's going to have to dump 2 Rock Slides. So what we're going to do here is we're going to just let this next foul play go through. Obviously, I can't shield it, but we're going to load up a little bit with Swampert. Just a little bit, a couple fast moves, like 1, 2, 3, and we're going to go ahead and swap into Wall Rain to now catch the next charge move. This depletes the energy from Mandibuzz, so they are at basically 0 energy, I believe, right now, and it brings Galarian Stunfisk back in. Now, in this cool situation right here, Rock Slide, even though it does do super effective damage, is not going to be enough to take me out, so I can put pressure here with Icicle Spear. If they decide to let this go, it's looking pretty good. And they do. So this is where things get very, very interesting. They are forced to throw another charge move because otherwise I'd Powder Snow them down. But this opens up the door for my Swampert now to come in and Mud Shot down, as we now get to 1 Hydro Cannon and only 4 more Mud Shots. So I'm going to go ahead and throw it right away. That's 1 Snarl there on the Mandibuzz, and it's going to need 3 more, I believe, in order to get to the charge move. So there's 2, there's 3, and I believe we CMP tied right there, and I win the CMP tie. So the energy management right here, even though we were at shield disadvantage, was huge and perfect for us. So good game, very well played. But honestly, I think the landing the Earthquake there in the mid game against Galarian Stunfisk was the real key to victory. Alright, so we got a Trevenant on the lead, something we love to see on the lead, especially with our backline. So we're going to let Perrserker go to town on this thing, and they're deciding to stay in, which means I can really set myself up with shield advantage coming out of this. So we're going to go ahead and throw that foul play. We do get a shield. I'm just going to keep loading up on energy. They have enough for Shadow Ball, so I'm going to go ahead and call that it is a Shadow Ball, but it was just a Seed Bomb. That is really unfortunate for me, but thankfully I can get to 1 more foul play in time. This again sets me up with the win condition of shield advantage or switch advantage. So taking shield advantage right here is pretty huge because they're going to go ahead and go for Shadow Ball, which is fine by me. I'll tank this, that's fine. But I think with a Trevenant on the lead, Swampert, I think, could sweep this team, especially that I can Powder Snow down with Wall Rain and not have to give up a shield. Seed Bomb, it hurts, it's super effective, but ultimately it's not too much damage, and I can fully Powder Snow down with 1 shield and energy advantage. So things are looking very good. Now, they decide to bring in a Wall Rain themselves. So we got a Mirror Fight, and again, another tell that they are weak to Wall Rain in the back. So it could be Giratina Altered, it could be a Flyer. We don't know yet, but Swampert with a shield can really handle most of that, even Giratina Altered because of Earthquakes. So what we're going to do here is go for double Earthquake right away, not even try to overload on energy because I want them to throw. I need them to throw an Earthquake right here because I am banking on Swampert closing this game out. So we're going to let this go, and it is going to be an Earthquake, which is fine. We go down. We're going to bring in the Swampert right here, and they decide to swap out into Galarian Stunfisk. So it was a really big read right there on my end. Now, Galarian Stunfisk is obviously the best case scenario. If it was Mandibuzz, it'd be a bit tougher, but honestly, 2 Hydro Cannons takes out the Galarian Stunfisk, so this is a huge win con. If it was Giratina Altered, again, it would have been tough, but ultimately it paid off. Our decision to just soft lose lead, take that shield advantage, really helped us out to close this game. So we're going to go ahead and shield and then just fast move down. And that's going to be a good battle. Very well played. All right. Moving into the next one, we have Perrserker on the lead versus Giratina Altered. This is what you love to see on the lead, and we have 2 answers for it. And this is Dragon Breath as well, which is even better. Absolutely love this lead. I can just soak this damage all day long. Dragon Claw is not going to do anything to us. We're looking very strong right here, and they decide to swap out into Melmetal, which is even better because now I have close combat. So they obviously are core broken right now with Perrserker, which is what can happen, and we force shields right here all day long. We're going to go ahead and go for double close combat, get those shields out of there from the Melmetal, and then we're going to come in with that Swampert. So we do get 2 shields. Now we come in with Swampert, and things are looking very good. Now, remember, Swampert isn't forced to shield right here. Superpower hurts, as you guys can see, but the first one does the most damage. The second one does less because it applies that attack debuff and defense debuff. So as you can see, we can survive that. And I'm going to go ahead and load up on energy, and now I can just go for Hydro Cannon. They have dropped their defense so much that a neutral Hydro Cannon right here can take it out. Nearly take it out. So we're going to go ahead and farm down with Mud Shot. And then we will see Giratina Altered come back in, but this is where the Earthquake comes in. This is why I think it's pretty mandatory to run Earthquake on Swampert is for Giratina Altered. As you can see, it does a decent amount of damage, about 40% right there. I believe it's something like 37.6 or something like that. But we're going to go ahead, let this go through. We still have 2 shields. We maintain switch advantage, and we have Perrserker lined up, and they do have a Talonflame in the back. So Walrein should be able to take this thing down very nicely, as we can just safely double shield right here. Don't let any cheeky Brave Bird come through, and just go for Icicle Spears to close this game out. So it's looking to be a good game to my opponent, but ultimately Perrserker really core broke them. Right there, had they safe swapped into Talonflame, we would have still had our Swampert to cover that. In another situation of we take switch, Perrserker loads up, Melmetal comes in, and close combats, and you get the whole picture. But that's going to be a good game to my opponent, as I will double shield right here and just farm down and then go for an Icicle Spear versus Giratina Altered to close this game out. So Perrserker really strong to core break some of these teams, especially if they rely on Giratina Altered as one of their Pokemon, because it's usually paired with some kind of steel to help counter fairies and ice-type Pokemon, which Perrserker then core breaks that. It's really nice. Okay, so we got Sylveon on the lead right here. Now, our typing wins this, but our moveset does not, and we do see a swap out into Walrein. So I'm going to go ahead and stay in this one, as my best counter to Walrein is already on the field, and I'm ahead on energy, and I can still take out Sylveon in the back with my own backline. So we're going to go ahead and just go for double close combat right now. Force those shields out, and then we will look to swap into Walrein here at some point. So we do get 1 shield. We're going to go ahead and go for the second one right away. Get those 2 shields, and then swap out into Walrein. So we do get 2 shields, and we're going to go ahead and bring our Walrein in right here. Again, we're at a 1-0 shield advantage, so I could technically soft lose this matchup if I want to, and then come in and load up on energy with something in the back, depending on how much health this Walrein has. Or if we see them potentially swap out back into Sylveon at some point. So we're just going to let these all go through. These Earthquakes hurt, but honestly, it is worth keeping that shield for Swampert to close this game out, especially with the Walrein on the field, because I don't think they have a Venusaur in the back. So let's see what we can do right here. We do go for the Icicle Spear, but they win the CMP tie. So we're going to go ahead and let this go, and hopefully we can survive. Yeah, we do survive with like 1 HP. So this extra damage from Icicle Spear is actually pretty needed, considering that Perrserker Shadow Claw, we're going to go ahead and swap back into Perrserker now and farm down. They decide to come in with their own Swampert. So thankfully we do have a shield. I overloaded far too much right here, so I'm going to have to shield this. That was a mistake on my end. I should have just thrown the close combat right away, but I'm deciding to go for Foul Play instead. Because I'm so far ahead on energy, I actually think 2 Foul Plays might just be enough, and it's looking to be just that. So I'm going to go ahead and go for the second one. And now we're in a really cool situation where we have a decent amount of health here on Perrserker, so we can chunk the health of Sylveon. And they shouldn't be able to get too much energy off of us, but they actually do. These charms aren't doing as much damage as I thought it was going to do. But thankfully close combat is going to do a decent amount of resisted damage. We can swap out into Swampert now and be able to survive this next charge move, but they make a beautiful... Oh, that was such a clutch play by them. Tip my hat off to that. That was a great sack swap into their own wall rain to catch the charge move. Sylveon's going to come in and gets to a charge move. If this is Moonblast, game is over. It's over. If it's not... Oh, it's Moonblast, but we survive! We get the Hydro Cannon in time. Were you worried? I was kind of worried. We were able to get this Hydro Cannon off and close the game, and that is going to be a good battle. Very well played. Really close one right there. And that was the final battle. I had really fun with this team. Perrserker, I think, is such a cool Pokemon. It has, honestly, a great moveset. Shadow Claw, Foul Play, Close Combat. You really can't ask for anything better than that moveset right there on a Pokemon, other than the typing of the Pokemon itself. But overall, really fun team, accessible Pokemon that you guys can use for the Ultra League. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. And like always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.